Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Forrest Sauer, and we are going to be talking about what the thyroid does. So many Americans, literally millions of Americans, struggle with thyroid disease, whether it be Hashimoto's, Graves' disease, hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism. And what does it all mean? Because they all have different nuances and they mean slightly different things. So, who am I and why am I talking about this? Well, my name is Dr. Forrest Sauer, and I've been helping clients achieve a root cause healing over the past, I don't know, I think it's been 12 years since I've been in practice. But what we do is we practice something called functional medicine, and we take very comprehensive labs on our clients. So that way we know not just simply what would be the best thing to fix them, but actually what the problem is first. It's kind of a novel thing to have the proper labs tested first before looking into treatment. And so, what we're going to be talking about, like I said, is what does the thyroid do inside of the body? We're going to be answering, will I gain weight if I have a thyroid problem? Why are your labs normal despite not feeling well? We're also going to be talking about why your medication may not be working, what you should eat, what is the best diet, what supplements you should take. Should I go keto or intermittent fasting? What do the medications actually do inside of the body? And then we're also going to be talking, first and foremost, about how the thyroid actually functions. Because if we have a fundamental knowledge on how the thyroid actually functions inside of the body, it's going to help us understand it actually how to fix the problem. And if you're picking up on the fact that you're like, man, I think Dr. Sauer, he's got like Smurf mouth. Yes, I had methylene blue before going live here. Bad timing, but it is what it is. And we're just going to roll with it. So if you have any questions or comments, now is a great time to post those in the chat if you have them. Otherwise, we are going to roll with this. And I am going to see if I can go ahead and change my camera. I cannot. Okay, so this is actually my first time going live, so we're going to be having a lot of learning, just like you are learning how the thyroid actually functions. So first thing, how's the thyroid work? Well, we all know that everything starts off in the brain. So there's this tiny little organ inside of your brain. It's called the hypothalamus that releases something, a hormone called TRH, or thyroid releasing hormone, that travels down into your thyroid, and your thyroid is like a factory. It produces T3 and T4 hormone. So the brain talks to the thyroid releases hormone, and then those hormones go throughout the rest of your body. Now, that's what most of us know. The other part of the story is what most of us don't realize, and which is so important. And that would be what Paul Harvey calls the rest of the story. So that is just how the thyroid is made. It doesn't make any difference how much thyroid hormone is made inside of your body. It is if it is actually being absorbed and used. That is what is most important. So, how do you fix the absorbed and used problem? Well, let's go ahead and keep on with our thyroid story. The T4 and T3 hormone, they go down into your organs, primarily into your liver, your gut, and your peripheral tissues to be converted so that way they can go live. That way they can be turned on. You see, all the thyroid hormones that your thyroid is producing really don't do a whole lot until they get converted or have that conversion process in your liver, your gut, and your muscle tissue. And the reason for that, the reason why the body is designed that way, excuse me, is because it's specifically designed that way so that way your thyroid doesn't accidentally produce more thyroid hormone than your body can use and give you a heart attack. So it's a safe gap. So that's how the thyroid works. It goes from your brain to your thyroid to your organs, and then that thyroid hormone starts working, and then those thyroid hormones can go out through the rest of your body. They can start increasing your heart rate, turning on your fat metabolism, growing your hair. Your thyroid is like the gas pedal for your body. And so if you don't have a gas pedal, your body's obviously not going to function. So in order for your body to function, you need to have a thyroid that's working. And that's why so many of you are exhausted all the time. You're gaining weight, you're losing hair, and you're just not feeling well. It's because the gas pedal for your body is fundamentally broken. So that is how the thyroid works, and really what it does. It is the gas pedal for your body, and it will control the speed at which your body works. So if you're experiencing brain fog, or you feel like your body is moving through quicksand, It's a very common thing. Now, a very common side effect of having hypothyroidism is weight gain. The reason is because it's the gas pedal. So it's very common as a side effect to start gaining weight despite changing nothing in your diet or lifestyle because the metabolism in your body starts to slow down. So you might be wondering, well, okay, I have a thyroid problem. Why isn't my medication working, Dr. Sauer? And that's a great question. The reason why your medication isn't working, or maybe it doesn't feel like your medication is working, is because the most medication, whether it be Synthroid or levothyroxine, that's the two most common medications that are prescribed for thyroid problems. They are primarily a T4 hormone. And that T4 hormone needs to get converted into something called T3 hormone in order for it to work. Well, if your body, your gut is unhealthy, your liver is not converting hormones like it should, or you just simply have more inflammation, that conversion from T4 to T3 is not happening. And so that is why it's so important to actually have these organs working if you want to have a thyroid that is functioning, which is also why your medication may not feel like it's working. Maybe you're taking iodine and it doesn't feel like the conversion process is happening. And that's why your body and your health might feel like it's on a vicious cycle. It's because the organs in your body are not converting those thyroid hormones in the first place. Which actually answers the question what that I get a lot is like, hey, Dr. Sauer, the medication, the thyroid medication that I'm taking, it feels like I'm just masking symptoms. What do you think? And yes, by and large, the thyroid medication, whether it be levothyroxine or Synthroid, is masking the symptoms. And that doesn't mean that you should not be taking it. Like it's a medication, you probably need to take it right now. But if you're still having symptoms, even though you're still taking the medication, that's where some of the problems can arise. Now, a big question I get is like, what should I eat? What should I consume? What's the perfect diet for me? And I wish there was a one size fits all approach to this. I wish there was just one diet for everybody. That would make things a lot easier. And the fact is that that's not true. There is no one size fits all approach that's going to be the best fit for everybody. So, what should you eat? Well, this is where we have to recognize and understand there are foods that are helping your body out. There's also foods that are hurting your body. There's foods that are building your body up, tearing it down. And we bring our clients, and you can absolutely do this as well, a food elimination diet. So that way you can decipher and learn what foods for your body are helping and which ones are hurting. So it looks a lot like this. We remove gluten, sugar, corn, dairy, soy. Those are the nightshade vegetables. Those are the most common food sensitivities. We pull those out for 30 days while supporting proper gut health and liver function. And then we add those foods back in one time a day, or I'm sorry, we add those foods one food at a time, 3 times a day for 3 days. For example, if we go ahead and pull out tomatoes, because that's a nightshade vegetable, and we want to see if our body is sensitive to tomatoes, what we're going to do at the end of 30 days is we're going to have tomatoes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then the next day, we're going to have tomatoes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and breakfast, lunch, and dinner once again. And in this way, we're actually going to give our immune system a chance to recognize, is it sensitive to the nightshade vegetable or not? And that is an amazing way. And so if tomatoes is fine, then you move on to the next food, and then you move on to the next food. But if you recognize that you have brain fog, your nose is running, you're tired, you have less energy, your night's sleep wasn't that great, that's actually a sign that that's actually a sign that your body is sensitive to tomatoes, for example. And then you go ahead and you introduce gluten, and then you introduce dairy and eggs and corn and soy and so on and so forth. And this is how you will actually learn this food treats my body well. This food does not. So supplements, what supplements should I take? There are several hundred different supplements that you could take as an option for your thyroid health. By and large, The patterns that we see in our clinic with our clients is that thyroid specific supplementation is not effective. What we find is more effective is actually focusing on the downstream organs, meaning focus on the gut health. Remember those organs that will actually convert and turn your thyroid hormones on, with the liver and the gut and the peripheral tissues and inflammation. That is where we tend to focus. So we tend to focus on liver health. We want to make certain that our body is converting T4 into T3 so our body can use it. Our gut health. If our gut is a mess, if we have constipation or diarrhea or bloating, then that's going to drastically impair or prevent our body from turning these thyroid hormones on, making it feel like we have a thyroid problem. But in reality, it's a gut or liver problem all along. Now, this, of course, is if you don't have any of the autoimmune conditions. Autoimmune conditions meaning Hashimoto's and Graves' disease. So the deal with Hashimoto's and Graves is with Hashimoto's disease, it's an immune system attacking your thyroid. And it makes you feel like you have hypothyroidism, low thyroid. Your immune system could also attack your thyroid and make it go hyper or up. That's going to feel like Graves' disease. And this is a big problem in America where these diseases, these two type of autoimmune diseases are rarely, if ever, tested for. So the story may go like this. You go into the doctor's office, you say, hey, my hair is falling out. I'm exhausted all the time. I can sleep 10 hours a night and still feel tired. I'm gaining weight. I don't know what's going on. He said, that sounds like a thyroid problem. They take a basic blood panel. They look at your TSH. It comes back a little bit high. It's like, yes, you have hypothyroidism. Let's give you some medication to help out. But really, what's causing those numbers to be off in the first place might be, and then often most time is, your immune system that's driving that lab low. And because they didn't test for it, they don't know. And that's because health insurance only pays for blood work that they can prescribe drugs for. And that's it. So that is what that's the answer to why some of your labs are coming back normal and yet you still don't feel normal. Now, I see a lot of clients who have tried keto or intermittent fasting in the past, and there are definitely benefits and a time and place for these lifestyle modifications. I wouldn't recommend if you have a thyroid problem, I wouldn't recommend most of you try that because you can create a lot of inflammation. You can starve yourself, starve your body of the valuable calories that your body actually needs. And if you go strict keto, it will cause your blood sugar to be low and flatline for a long time. And that, whether you recognize it or not, will impact how your hormones actually are functioning because low blood sugar will tank your hormones. So that's a short preview on what the thyroid functions. I've been going live here for 13 minutes here. Hopefully you've got some value from some of these common questions. The common questions regarding thyroid, if you have any questions on your thyroid, you can most certainly post them in the comments and I'll do my very best to answer those otherwise in our next live stream. But otherwise, as always, you guys take care. My name is Dr. Forrest Sauer. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. I look forward to chatting with you soon.